I love working with Monica. She's so dynamic and determined and leaves no stone unturned. And, you know, all of the scene work was just so exhilarating because it was free and it was different and it felt like we were improvising all the time. And Will had set it up for us like that, but we built this bond where we could just fall flat on our face each time and there'd be no worries because if you try something, we were always reaching. And I feel like we provided a nice space for each other to do that creatively and like in a safety thing of like, don't worry, you know, just go for it. And I loved watching Monica work and prepare and all of those things. It was really wonderful to watch.
Yeah, all the same to him. I mean, I think Callum has a great balance of being someone who takes his work very seriously and takes acting and film seriously and also doesn't take himself too seriously, doesn't like, you know, it always stays fun and creative, and he's not operating ego first. In fact, very little ego at play, I think, when he works. And it's just a beautiful thing to watch, and it opens up a kind of creativity within him that's just like so fun to get to play with and be his scene partner, because then the two of you can just like volley any idea and try things. And like, you know, there were plenty of times where we would try things that wouldn't exactly be the right thing, but between me, Callum, and Will, we were always safe to offer ideas and try stuff and play with things, and we knew that the other would catch us in some way, and if something didn't work, we could always, you know, try something else. And I think the friendliness in that between the three of us also just made it so that like failure didn't hurt so much, and we could like dust ourselves off and try something new.
There was no failure. It was just an attempt at something that it wasn't going to make the movie, but the opportunity was there to make another attempt, and until we...
Yeah, or you find something within it that works, like a piece of it, and then you put that into the next attempt. And it just was really, it was just really fun. Will is such a fun director. He's made great rom-coms that like give you goosebumps and like get the whole, you know, audience in a theater talking back to the screen. He's such a delightful filmmaker. And then on top of that, for this film, he pitched it to me with film comps like Uncut Gems and After Hours and Midnight Run. And I just thought that approach was so interesting and so intelligent, and it just made it so clear immediately that he was, I don't know, it's like thinking really creatively about New York City, and about telling a story where there's like kind of political undertones, but also that like love rides above all, you know, and like and taking us on that journey with like handheld cameras and stuff. I just thought it was such a brilliant approach to a rom-com, because the story itself between these two is somewhat simple in its in its essence, I guess. But the fact is that we're in this sort of crazy world. It's like the urgency is ramped up because we have one night, and I think you feel that in the filmmaking of the film too.
Yeah, I think that he elevates. I mean, I think that's kind of the adrenaline junkie of him in the day-to-day workings of this film was that he is constantly excavating moments and bits and elevating the film and the scenes constantly. I mean, I'm just thinking about some of the things that both of us have to go through in this film separately that are absolutely hilarious and mind-blowing and like jaw-dropping, and that you just are totally grounded. They're totally grounded in reality.
Yeah,
and that's what makes them so hilarious.
Gives you goosebumps. He knows how to make those moments really sing.
He's the rom-com king.
Yeah.
It's really hard these days to make a movie that's not IP. original for theaters, right? As you know. So I really, until they drag me out of here, which is probably going to be soon, I really want to make theatrical movies. And I like making movies about people and relationships and people that can't fly and can't be invisible. So that lends itself to interpersonal relationships. So that's kind of my long-winded way as to why I made a rom-com. And it's the only way that hopefully they'll still let us make movies about people who want to talk to each other. I'm from New York City. This is my third movie I made in New York. There's nothing more exciting than making a movie in New York with all the, it's harder, it's the hardest, it's very hard because no one cares when you make a movie in New York, which I love. They walk through your set because they don't care, which I love. But also, this movie, as you saw, takes mostly place at night, which means we shot all night for many, many nights. And there's nothing like New York City around 2 or 3 in the morning, no matter where you are, when it starts to get kind of quiet, and everyone kind of slows down, and you're kind of, it becomes your playground in places that during the day there's 6 million people, and there's something, a kind of behind the scenes feel, which is so fascinating as a filmmaker. And that's what we tried to do for the movie too, because they're in these places kind of late at night, and even in the daytime at the very end of the movie that they kind of aren't normally allowed to be in. So that feeling of being in a special place alone with someone where you're not normally supposed to be is really exciting, and that's kind of what we also experienced while we made the movie. Every single thing is practical, so when, half the extras on the movie aren't extras, they're just people doing their thing, which is really cool. They really are. Everybody says this, but I've been very lucky in all my movies to have really good people working with, and I always say there's never been a jerk on a movie of mine, which means that I'm the jerk. If you think there's no jerk somewhere, you're the jerk. But they're just so great to hang with and just be around, and they genuinely like each other. And I think people always ask, what does chemistry mean? It's not necessarily, it means that do they like spending time together as people? And if they like spending time together, then you're gonna like watching them spend time together. And once I spent all this time together and enjoyed them, and in between takes we wouldn't leave, we wouldn't go back to the trailers. There's just something different when you kind of sense that on a movie that it's 3 months of summer camp, but let's spend it together, and that's kind of what I felt like in this movie. There's one thing, and it's serious, what I want them to experience, and it's fun. Because movies need to be fun, and movies used to be a lot of fun. They are fun, but it's very rare that you spend all the time with your friends, going to the movies, getting tickets, waiting in line, going to the movie, and then afterward talking about it. And this movie is a very fun movie from the beginning to the end, but also afterwards you're gonna be singing the songs, you're gonna be discussing forever the rules of our movie, because we're very careful to give some rules, but not all the rules. So, and I know some people have already seen it, have all these questions about what can you do, what you can't do, but that's the fun of talking about something afterwards. And this is a movie that, I know everybody says this, it needs to be shared with other people to discuss it and talk about it, and not on your laptop at home. So I will guarantee you one thing, and that it is a very fun time at the movies.